It's 6:45 a.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danushka Madawala, read by Soundithavam. The President says the government fully supports private entrepreneurs committed to advancing modern agriculture through cutting-edge technology. A new program launched to reduce corruption in the public sector. The Sri Lanka Navy promotes over 3,000 sailors on the 15th Victory Day anniversary. The Chief of Defence Staff says that the commitment and dedication shown by the war heroes in the past has led this country towards the present-day national security. A special traffic plan for War Heroes Day ceremony. Warning issued over possible floods in several river basins. In foreign news, Putin says no current plans to seize Kharkiv. In sports, Slot confirms he will become Liverpool manager. President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized that the government plans to transform Sri Lankan agriculture using modern technology, including artificial intelligence. The government is committed to support the private sector entrepreneurs interested in this initiative. The President further mentioned that 100 divisional secretariat divisions have been selected this year for the agricultural modernization program. In the first phase, 25 divisional secretariat divisions will receive the necessary facilities, while the second phase will extend modern agriculture practices to an additional 75 divisional secretariat divisions. President Ranil Wickremesinghe made these comments during an observation tour of the agro company's greenhouse in Nelumdeniya, Kagalla yesterday. The inventor of Vegaka and the group CEO of Vega Innovations, Dr. Harsha Subasinghe, accompanied the President on this visit. The AI Grow greenhouse is the first in Sri Lanka to utilize artificial intelligence technology. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has confirmed his participation in the 10th World Water Forum high-level meeting to be held from today to the 20th of this month in Bali, Indonesia. President Wickremesinghe will leave for Indonesia today following an invitation from the Indonesian President, underscoring Sri Lanka's commitment to international cooperation on water-related challenges. Scheduled to deliver a keynote address on May 20th, President Wickremesinghe will articulate Sri Lanka's perspective on achieving equitable access to water resources for all. The chairman of the Sectoral Oversight Committee on an Open and Accountable Government, MP Jagat Kumara Sumitra Rachi, declared that measures are in place to launch a successful program for conducting transactions via technology and online methods to reduce corruption and fraud. He emphasized that government employees who frequently request salary increases must properly fulfill their duties to the public, noting that the political system is responsible solely for policy making. Mr. Sumitra Rachi made these comments during a press briefing titled A Collective Path to a Stable Country, held at the Presidential Media Centre yesterday. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Coinciding with the 15th Victory Day anniversary, 3,146 sailors have been advanced to their next higher rates. This promotion was made by the Commander of the Navy, Vice Admiral Priyantha Pereira, with the approval of the Honourable President and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Sri Lanka's security forces, including the Armed Forces, Police and Civil Security Department, played a critical role in defeating the nearly 30-year-long terrorism. Their selfless commitment, including those who made the supreme sacrifice in the line of duty, were instrumental in a successful humanitarian operation that established the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the country. The Chief of the Defence Staff, General Shavendra Silva, says that commitment and dedication shown by the war heroes in the past has led this country towards the present-day national security and the development of this country. Joining the Jana Ravaya program of the SLBC yesterday, he said that the war heroes led the freedom experienced in the country at present. General Silva reiterated that the country must commemorate the war heroes who sacrificed their lives, their family members and also those injured war heroes all the time. The younger generation has no idea about the sacrifices made by the war heroes to save the motherland from brutal terrorism. The Chief of Defence Staff, General Shavendra Silva, further said that the younger generation must be educated regarding the commitment shown by the war heroes to this country. The National War Heroes Day ceremony is scheduled to be held tomorrow evening at the Parliament ground and a special traffic plan to be implemented on that day. Accordingly, the entry and exit lanes towards Parliament Road will be closed from Poldua Junction and Kianham Junction from 3 p.m. tomorrow. Accordingly, motorists are advised to use the alternative routes during the closure of the above road. The Irrigation Department has issued an amber level flood warning for possible areas in the lower-lying areas of several river basins, including Kalu, Kalani, Ging, Nilvala, Dadur Oya, Maha Oya, Attanagalu Oya, Kala Oya and Malwat Oya, if heavy rains persist over the coming days. The early flood warning notice has been issued as per the weather forecast issued by the Met Department this morning, that heavy rains exceeding 100 millimeters per day may occur at several places in the western, Sabragama and northwestern provinces, as well as the Gaul and Matara districts. Landslide warnings are issued for several districts due to the prevailing inclement weather conditions. Haldamulla, Haputale, Alla, Badulla and the Hali Alla Divisional Secretariats in the Badulla district, Agalawatha Divisional Secretariat in the Kalutara district, Yatinuwara, Udanuwara and Udapalata Divisional Secretariats in the Kandy district, Mavanella, Bulatkahupitia, Galigamua, Yatiantota, Dehiovita, Varakapala and Kagala Divisional Secretariats in the Kagala district, Mavatagama Divisional Secretariat in the Kurunagala district, and Ukkuwela and Rattota Divisional Secretariats in the Matale district have been issued with a level 1 warning. That's local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Parliament Secretary-General Kushani Rohanidira said that the Economic Transformation Bill and Public Financial Management Bill will be presented to Parliament on the 22nd of this month. The bills were gazetted on the 14th of this month. She said that the Committee on Parliamentary Business, which met under the patronage of Speaker Mahindayapa Abeyvardena on Tuesday, decided to convene Parliament on May 22nd and came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight. The Department of Meteorology has issued an advisory for heavy rain, strong winds and rough seas for the sea areas extending from Kalpitia to Pottuville via Kalambu, Gaul and Hamaltota. The sea areas extending from Kalpitia to Pottuville via Kalambu, Gaul and Hamaltota will be rough at times with strong gusty winds up to 60 to 70 kilometers per hour, the department warned. That came to you in Watchlight onto a bulletin of world news. Putin says no current plans to seize Kharkiv. Israel's army says 3 hostages' bodies recovered. And France honors baguette with scented stamp. Russian President Vladimir Putin has suggested he does not currently plan to seize Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv, but does intend to create a buffer zone along the border. Putin was responding to questions from Russian media on Friday in China's northeastern city of Harbin. Russian troops are intensifying their offensive in the eastern region of Kharkiv. Officials say they have crossed the border and taken control of multiple settlements. But when asked whether his country aims to seize Kharkiv, Putin said there are no such plans today. Putin said he intends to create a security zone, a buffer zone, in light of Ukraine's shelling of Russian neighborhoods in border areas, resulting in civilian deaths. The Russian leader said he discussed the situation in Ukraine with Chinese President Xi Jinping during their summit on Thursday. He said Xi briefed him on his recent visit to Europe and set out his position on China's peace initiatives. Israeli forces have recovered the bodies of 3 hostages from Gaza, the Israel Defense Forces say. The IDF said they had been murdered on 7th October and their remains taken back to Gaza. Local media reported that the bodies were found in a Hamas tunnel. About 1,200 people were killed in an unprecedented attack when Hamas gunmen burst into Israel. They took 252 others back to Gaza as hostages. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called the news heartbreaking. In a statement, the IDF said the bodies had been recovered in an operation overnight. It said it had acted on intelligence gleaned from interrogations of terrorists who had been detained in Gaza. Nearly 600,000 scratch and sniff postage stamps created to celebrate the artisan baguette have gone on sale in France. Costing €1.96, the stamp issued by La Poste went on sale on Friday and depicts a baguette decorated with a red, white and blue ribbon. According to the Parisian stationery shop Le Carré d'Onc, the stamp had a bakery scent. Ink said on the stamps contains microcapsules which provides a fragrance. Le Carré, Ink said the stamps were released for sale on Friday after launch on Thursday, the day of Saint Honoré, the patron saint of bakers and pastry chefs. Back to the headlines of the world news. Putin says no current plans to seize Kharkiv. Israel's army says 3 hostages' bodies recovered. And France honours baguette with scented stamp. With that, we conclude this bulletin of world news.
Development news.
The Agriculture and Plantations Industry Ministry has taken steps to allocate 1,600 million rupees to establish 160 villages in 25 districts with 6 youth agri-entrepreneurship villages in each district for this year. Accordingly, the program to establish 160 youth agri-entrepreneurship villages covering all 25 districts is being implemented, and arrangements have been made to provide 1 million rupees to each village under the first phase, said Agriculture and Plantations Industry Minister Mahinda Amravira. The aim of this program is to attract the youth community to agriculture and to introduce them to new agricultural technology, to carry out activities targeting local markets and exports, and to direct the youth to agricultural products that are in demand. That came to you in development news.
Moving on with sports news.
Feyenoord coach Arne Slot has confirmed he will replace Jurgen Klopp as Liverpool manager. Klopp has been in charge of the Reds since October 2015, but is leaving at the end of the season after a reign that has seen him win the Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup and 2 EFL Cups. After Klopp's announcement in January, several managers were considered leading contenders, but in April, it was learned that Slot was set to get the job after a compensation deal worth up to £9.4 million was agreed with Feyenoord. Slot's final game at Feyenoord after 3 years in charge will be Sunday's home match at Liverpool and ends on the same day with the home Premier League game against Wolves. That's sports news. We take a look at business news next.
Go ekatiyana youth ekata life eke change ekata niyameta set wenna as wahagena dagapu gina habe karanna youth ekata niyameta set wenna friendship eka menna.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business news, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
One of the leading platforms in the employment sector, JobDaddy.lk, will host an interactive session from 10:30 a.m. tomorrow. The event will be held at the Golfest Hotel in Colombo. This initiative will facilitate connection between job seekers and employers. Attendees are encouraged to bring a soft copy of their CV to the event for on-the-spot registration with the JobDaddy.lk. That came to you in business news, economic news to follow.
Business news, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekatiyana youth ekata life eke change ekata niyameta set wenna as wahagena dagapu gina habe karanna youth ekata niyameta set wenna friendship eka menna.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news. 2 cruise ships were docked at Hammadat International Port during this week. MV Silver Cloud, owned by Silver Sea Cruises, the luxury brand of the Royal Caribbean Group, arrived from Cochin carrying 232 passengers. TUI's main ship 5 arriving from Langkawi carrying 2,434 passengers. A group of passengers from main ship 5 did their customary e-bike tour in Hamathata. The e-bikes were organized in line with HIP's Greenport Drive. That's economic news.
Weather report.
Showery and windy conditions are expected to enhance during the next few days from today due to pre-monsoonal conditions over the country and surrounding sea areas. Cloudy skies can be expected over most parts of the island. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabrigama, northwestern and southern provinces, also in the Kandy and Nuwara districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places elsewhere in the island after 12 noon. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the western, Sabrigama, northwestern provinces, also in the Gaul and Martara districts. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The President says the government fully supports private entrepreneurs committed to advancing modern agriculture through cutting-edge technology. A new program launched to reduce corruption in the public sector. The Sri Lanka Navy promotes over 3,000 sailors on the 15th Victory Day anniversary. The Chief of Defence Staff says that commitment and dedication shown by the war heroes in the past has led this country towards the present-day national security. A special traffic plan for War Heroes Day ceremony. Warning issued over possible floods in several river basins. Putin says no current plans to seize Kharkiv, and Slot confirms he will become Liverpool manager. With that, we conclude this morning's news broadcast, and now it's back to your host this Saturday morning, Sonal, to keep you entertained on a rather gloomy, overcast and drizzly Saturday morning. A very good morning to you, Sonal, and it's all yours.